is your most memorable game?
Oh, it might be the one behind me with the trophy with Oklahoma. Another one was we had lost to Stanford in Super Regionals, and it was just played our worst game of the year, the first game, and we had to come back the next day and beat them twice. We run ruled them the first game, and it was hot, and as the day went along, the sun went down, and we started completely daylight, and by the end of the second game, the lights were on, it was dark, and we pitched both kids. Jackie Trainer was a freshman, it was 2011, and Cassie Riley Boscia hit a triple in the bottom of the sixth for a 1-0 win. And the crowd that night might have been the loudest I've ever heard it. And they had been through a lot. They'd been to the heat, the first game, and they stayed with us. And it was just one of those games that you'll always have in your memory. It was unbelievable.
And is there any game further back that kind of made you realize we're going to do something here?
I think probably we had a kid named Kelly Kretschmann. She wasn't very recruited, or highly recruited. But the first time I saw her, I said to another coach, I said, does she do that all the time? And the lady said, oh yeah, she does it all the time. And I was like, and I didn't say it to her, but I turned around, I was like, I want that kid. She threw right, hit left, very athletic, had more pop than anybody I'd ever seen, and she wasn't a big kid. And thank goodness we got her. And I always kid her that, I always say that Rhodes Stadium is the house that Kelly built, because she was a huge Yankees fan. And I'd sent her a postcard the summer before she came to Alabama. I'd gone to New York, and it said, the house that Ruth built. And I crossed out Ruth, and I said, this is going to be the house that Kelly built. And just some of the games with her early on, you could tell that if we had continued to get the type of kid that she was, we could do this again and again and again. And I think like in a couple years from now, we've got some kids that committed are even more athletic than some of the kids we have now. And I know a couple coaches in our conference keep thinking that, man, they're going to have a bad year, they're going to, but somehow, some way. I remember Mal Moore saying the hardest thing to do in Division I athletics is be consistently good. And we're the only school in the country that's been to all 10 super regionals, and we've gone to 17 straight NCAAs. And it kind of, every year is a different team, so it really gets you excited. And I think that's why we've been good every year, because it's a different challenge, a different team, a different group of kids. No matter how many you got coming back or how many you lost, it's a different feeling. And so it's a lot of fun to try to be that consistent winner.
And you really are the face of that. So what is it like for a guy who came from Iowa to be like a local celebrity in Alabama? I'm sure that's not something you imagine.
No, and it's, I didn't play football here, obviously. I didn't know anybody. It was just really luck of the draw. I applied to be the assistant. I got the assistant job the first 2 years. That summer, the head coach left. I got the job, and it was like, okay, we need to get going here. And I can remember after that first year, we did go to regionals, but we got shut out twice. And I said to myself, that's not going to happen again. And so that summer, I tried to work my butt off in anything and everything. And then the next year, we won 66 games, went to the World Series, finished fifth, and that's what got it started, that second year. But I never, ever imagined, being from Fayette, Iowa, born in Waterloo. Fayette is a population of about 962 people. There was 20 in my graduating class. I mean, it's about as small town as you can get. But, this is very similar to Iowa, where it's a little slower. It's definitely not a urban area. I don't think I could do it in a big city. And the other thing that's really, really cool about the state is there is no NFL, there's no MLB, there's no NBA. And the game in town is the University of Alabama, and that's what makes it so successful, and that's what makes all the fans so rabid about college sports here.
And this whole athletic department, you guys are an all-star cast of coaches. So what is it like to go to work with great coaches in every sport?
Well, just, the floor in Coleman Coliseum, the third floor, it's called Champions Hallway. And when we had Sarah, and now Dana's picking it up just like where Sarah left off. You had Sarah at one end, Mick Potter, J.C. Well, everybody down that hallway has won a national championship. And having Avery Johnson up there now too, I mean, he ups the ante big time. He's just one of my favorite people I've ever met. We loved Anthony and all his staff, but I think it's just going to be so much fun. And obviously football steers the ship, and Coach Saban has done an incredible job. But everybody else, it's really fun right now to be a coach, and I'm sure to be a student athlete at Alabama, because this to me is the golden age.